The rain came down in heavy sheets that afternoon, not the soft drizzle that whispered against windows, but a relentless downpour that turned streets into rivers. The city slowed, horns blared, and people rushed under umbrellas. But on the corner of a small auto workshop, where rust smelled stronger than perfume, a young man kept working with his bare, all-stained hands. His name was Arav, 23, thin but strong, his face tired but his eyes alive. His father's old signboard creaked above him, Singh & Son Mechanic Works. The paint had peeled long ago, and the place barely earned enough to keep food on their table, but Arav never complained. His father had raised him with honesty, humility, and hope. That day, fate was about to take a turn neither of them could have imagined. Chapter 1: The Car That Stopped the Rain. Through the roar of rain, a black Mercedes-Benz suddenly rolled into the narrow street. Its engine sputtered and coughed before dying completely. The car came to a halt right in front of Arav's workshop. The door opened, and out stepped a woman in her early 30s, dressed in an elegant navy blue business suit, her heels splashing through puddles. Her name was Maya Kapoor, CEO of Kapoor Innovations, a top tech company in the city. She had just left an important investor meeting when her car decided to betray her. Arav stared for a second. She looked out of place here, like a diamond fallen in mud. Her perfectly done hair was now drenched, her phone signal was gone, and her driver was out sick that day. "Excuse me," she called out, her voice calm but urgent. "Can you help me? The car just stopped." Arav wiped his hands on a rag and nodded. "Yes, ma'am, let me take a look." The storm worsened. Water poured down his face as he opened the car's hood. Steam hissed out, the engine had overheated. He grabbed his old tools, the ones his father had used for decades, and started working. Maya stood nearby under a broken umbrella, watching this young man fix her luxury car in the middle of a storm, with no hesitation. After 20 long minutes, Arav closed the hood, drenched to the bone. "Try now," he said softly. Maya turned the key, the engine roared to life. For the first time in a long while, she smiled, not a corporate smile, but a real one. "You did it," she said. Arav shrugged humbly. "Just needed some care, ma'am, like most things in life." That line stayed with her. Chapter 2: Two Worlds Apart. Maya offered to pay him, pulling out her sleek leather wallet. "How much?" Arav looked uncomfortable. "Whatever you feel is right." She handed him a crisp 2,000 note. His eyes widened. That was more than he earned in a day. "Thank you," he said softly. But as she drove off, Maya couldn't stop glancing at him in the rearview mirror, standing there, soaked, with a faint smile on his face. Something about him reminded her of herself years ago, before she became the powerful CEO everyone admired but few truly knew. Maya had grown up poor too. Her father had been a teacher who dreamed she'd become something great, and she had, but in that process, she'd lost touch with the kind of people who made her who she was. Arav's quiet dignity struck a chord deep inside her. That night, she couldn't sleep. Chapter 3: A New Beginning. A few days later, Maya returned to the same workshop, this time in a company car. Arav looked surprised but smiled politely. "You again," he said. "I came to thank you properly," Maya replied, handing him a small box. Inside was a brand new set of mechanic tools. "I noticed yours were old." Arav hesitated. "Ma'am, this is too much." "It's not," she insisted. "Consider it an investment." "Investment?" She nodded. "I need someone who understands machines and people. I'm starting a new automotive project at my company. Would you like to join as a trainee technician?" Arav froze. Him, in a company like hers. It sounded like a dream, but he looked at his father, who was listening quietly from inside the workshop. His father's old eyes filled with pride. "Go, son," he said. "Maybe this is your turn to live a life beyond these walls." Arav accepted, and just like that, the poor mechanic's son walked into a new world. Chapter 4: The Challenge. The first few weeks were hard. Arav was out of place among well-dressed engineers who spoke in jargon he barely understood. They mocked his simple clothes and oily hands, but Maya always encouraged him. "You have something they don't," she said one day. "Heart, don't lose it." Arav began staying late, studying car blueprints, watching tutorials, and learning from every mistake. His father grew weaker back home, but Arav worked harder than ever, determined to make him proud. One night, the company faced a massive crisis. A prototype car wasn't working, and the investors were pulling out. Engineers couldn't find the issue. Maya looked worried for the first time. Arav, who had been quietly observing, stepped forward. "May I try?" he asked. The room went silent, everyone stared. He got under the car, examined the circuit, and after 10 minutes, found a loose connection the engineers had overlooked. He fixed it. The car roared to life again. Just like that day in the rain. Maya smiled through tears. You just saved the project, Arav. Chapter 5: The Change. Within months, Arav became the heart of the company's innovation team. The story of the mechanic's son who saved the CEO's dream spread like wildfire. Media outlets ran it. Investors returned. Maya's company grew stronger, and so did their bond. It wasn't romance in the usual sense. It was something purer: respect, gratitude, and shared dreams. She promoted Arav to head technician, and later, technical director. Together, they launched affordable cars for low-income families, in honor of people like Arav's father. At the launch event, Maya stood on stage beside Arav. Cameras flashed, reporters cheered. But Arav's eyes found his father sitting in the front row, tears shining as bright as the lights. That moment said everything. Chapter 6: Full Circle. A year later, Arav returned to the old workshop. It was closed now, but he didn't feel sad. He felt complete. Maya arrived too, holding an umbrella this time. She smiled. Remember the rain. How could I forget? Arav laughed. They stood together, watching the rain fall. The same rain that once separated their worlds now brought them together. Arav looked up. You changed my life. Maya shook her head. No, Arav, you changed mine. You reminded me where I came from and what really matters. Final message. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness, fixing a car in the rain, helping a stranger, can rewrite destinies. Life isn't about where you start. It's about the courage to keep going when the world looks down on you. And remember, be kind always, because you never know whose life you might be changing.